Good evening, everyone. I'm just making a nice little video with a little bit of review of the market. I'm gonna look at few coins today, including Bitcoin, IOTA, Litecoin, and VERGE. Maybe just a word on Litecoin as well. Yeah, you have a risk disclaimer here. So yeah, if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm kind of that my last main thoughts on market were kind of like bearish, and still, yeah, I have my little son and wife are just here. So you might have some noise in the background, but shouldn't be too big of a problem. Yeah, so anyhow, yeah, I'm more bearish on the whole scenario since I was actually anticipating downward movement all the way from here if you were following me. And I'm basically just following MACD, right, and stochastic indicators, and of course the moving averages. I'm not, you have a lot of people out there who are more like specialized in Elliott waves. That's not my approach. I'm more, focused on this thing. So, yeah, we had this reversal because you could see this divergence, and now. And I also anticipated a bounce here. If you were following, I said we're gonna bounce, and it was actually spot on. Was anticipating a bounce here because of divergence here, right? If you watched, you wouldn't be too surprised to see this. So now, of course, yeah, we have a question like, is Bitcoin going higher or not? So this is the main question for this video. Basically, as we see, we are testing the previous swing high, and we're just gonna do an overview of the indicators, what they are saying. Basically the energies, I think this is the best way. So yeah, on daily chart, 50 MA is still angling down, which still indicates a downtrend. This is on the left side. I have daily chart. On daily, you could argue that MACD is divergent, but it's still kind of angling up, so you can't really confirm that. Okay, I'll make this higher, bigger. So if you look at this, right, if you could kind of argue that this is divergent, indicating that we're losing the upward momentum, but you can't really, state that until the cycle indicator goes back down. So the cycle indicator needs to go under 55 MA that we have this, because you don't know if this is still going up or not on daily, right? So you can't say with confidence, okay, this is divergent, because we're in the middle of the move. So, but it does seem like as if we want to make this divergent, divergence on MACD. It definitely seems like it, but it's not confirmed yet. So on 8-hourly chart, well, this is definitely divergent, but it's still angling up, so there's still upward momentum. And then if we look at 160-minute chart, so I divide all these by 3, so 1 day divided by 3, 8 hour divided by 3, and we get this bit. I know it's kind of like odd numbers, but that's just the way it is. That's my strategy. Yeah, so we do have a little bit of divergence there. While this is double, we made a double top here. We kind of have like this head and shoulders pattern on MACD here, which indicated that we will move down. And you see how precise that is. Like we had divergence here, and yeah, exactly, we moved up, right? So it's quite. It is definitely a strong indicator. Let's look at the low. So the low here. Okay, you can't really say too much about these two lows. What about this two? Yeah, there's just not much there, not much. So yeah, we have on tops, on higher highs, we have a little bit of divergence, indicating that we might want to go down. And on stochastic indicator, we have this double kind of cross, but not really. Yeah, nothing there really. nothing really interesting. We can look at RSI. Although I'm usually, there's another trading strategy that I'm using, snapback it's called. It's using this. Yeah, so you have a little bit of divergent RSI as well. While this is double topping, this is kind of going down. So actually, this is actually quite accurate. If you see this on RSI, according to this guy Luke Longmire, who created this strategy, this is 90% correct. So this would mean that it's 90% correct that we're going to at least the mean, at least here. Well, look, I did a little bit of research. I did a back testing on this strategy, and for me, it was 70 and something, 70s, 71 or so, 72% accurate when I had this, but it was on 3-minute chart. But anyhow, it is quite accurate. So we're having two signals that the momentum is going out, that we are going lower. But as I said, we're still in the middle of the move. Although RSI it does kind of indicate that we want to go a little bit lower. But you know, the question is always how low. And yeah, this, like, my long-term prediction was that we're gonna drop back to 6,000. Although I don't really like these long-term predictions, I'm more of an energy trader. I like to look at what is there, what the market is doing. So yeah, we're on daily. So we went through this 50. Basically, what we're doing at the moment, like if you want to make sense of this movement, is basically we're testing this resistance similar to 200 moving average. We went under it. I'll make it stronger. If you remember, we went under 200 moving average here, down to 6,000s. And then we just snapped back up, right? And now we're doing the same with 50 MA. So if we really want to go into into uptrend, what we need is to stay here for quite a considerable time, right? And we need to find a support. We need to back that, we need to break this 50 MA, and then this 50 MA has to become a line of support. And if it doesn't, because we're hitting this resistance at the moment, we have few resistance line here. So previous swing high would definitely be one to watch. Just here, and this is just the previous top. So we have quite a, we have this resistance area here. You can see that there was a kind of like area when we were kind of going sideways a bit. So that's a really strong area. So if we don't break through this, you see here. So if we don't break through this and that doesn't become a support, we're probably going to see a downward movement, which would be, we'll still, we'll just have to monitor. We'll just have to monitor. I don't want to put any too precise, like, okay, it's going to 6,000. It might, it still might kind of go this all the way down to 6,000, but we'll see. So that's it for today. I was actually, I'm in a trade for Litecoin. I just shorted it. This is my daily. I kind of shorted Litecoin up there, but this is just a day trade. This is what I'm doing at the moment. I already took some profit on it. This is my second exit. But what is interesting for Litecoin, I'm actually looking at Litecoin for a longer term trade. If you compare Litecoin to BTC, you can see that we have a little bit of sell-off. But what is more interesting is, if you have 8-hour chart, is that 50 MA is angling up like this, right? But the price is under 50 MA, which it does happen. It doesn't happen that often, especially not on higher time frames. But it actually, price will sooner or later go back to 50 MA, right? And if you have this setup when the 50 MA is going up but the price is under, it is quite likely, it's called a rubber band trade, it's quite likely that this will bounce off right, back to 50 MA. But you just don't want to just jump in. You want to wait for the right moment, because what could also happen is while this is bouncing, the 50 MA can angle down, and then you just don't have any trade there. But yeah, I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm looking at this zone at a previous swing low right here at 0.0188 here. So I'm looking at this area. Yeah, and actually I don't know why I have this line there. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this was kind of like support before. You see this area, and then you also have, if you make a Fibonacci retracement here on 50, so you have all this zone. It's quite a big zone of support here actually. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, kind of anticipating a bounce, and I'll snap back to the 50 MA, which would be a really nice risk to reward. You know, if we have a bounce off here, that would be just a beautiful trade, and it's more like a swing trade, so it's perfect for this channel, because for trades like this you have plenty of time, right? And also if you look on daily chart, you know, we're also kind of coming closer to 50 MA, so there's a strong area of support here. So yeah, I would just love to see this trade happen, because then we have a nice take profit on the mean, so on 50 MA, and you enter here and you have like at least 1 to 3 let's say that you enter in the middle of it. Let's see what is the risk to reward, and this by that time 50 MA will look low, will be lower. So yeah, you have 3.5. You can, even if you're kind of like pessimistic about it, it's easily to get 3 against 1 risk to reward, which is great. So yeah, I'm just looking at it. I'm looking for some indicators to show me some divergences, and yeah, we'll go from there. So that was that, and then IOTA I posted IOTA video. I think it was about here, and I said that look, we are forming this triangle, and it's going to be interesting to see a breakout, and we did break out. And now if you see, we have this shorter trend line going up, but you can clearly see the divergence here. So I'm actually anticipating a little bit of a here, right? Actually, it's not divergent because we had a higher, so it's not really. But this is definitely something to watch. And if you look at higher, we have another triangle. So if we have a break to the downside again of this trend line, you know, this could just flush down, and that could make a nice little trade there. So that is as a swing trade, right? So yeah, that was it. So we had Litecoin covered, Litecoin against BTC. We have IOTA. Okay, VERGE. I was just calling about VERGE. Is actually Fila Kone made this video. I was just made it in Slovenian, just for a long-term trade, and it's actually still shaping. We were talking about this wedge. Okay, why is this not? Yeah, just about this wedge kind of falling wedge. We were talking about this, and then when we break out of this, we might have a strong movement up, but it's still kind of like still in there, still trying to shape itself. So yeah, it's definitely coming closer to this support where we had a previous low. But yeah, this was a really long-term trade. I actually entered here, and then I already could have taken profits here, but I didn't, because I really consider this as for a few months, right? But if you're not in, you know, I think it's still a good time to enter this one. maybe to be more kind of like more conservative, you can even wait to see this retested, the support retested. So that was that. Then NEO, yeah, NEO just had a crazy run. It broke this key trend line, and now it's kind of finding 50 MA as a support. Definitely, I will look at NEO more because it just has this extreme. It has extreme volatility, and you know, volatility is trader's best friend. I was actually trading it, day trading it when it was going up, and I was shorting it. Made a few trades there, but that was a while ago, like 14 days or so ago. Yeah, that was what I was looking at recently. This is my daily day trade setup. So yeah, I just did one trade today. I'm just seeing one trade, which is already in profit, which is great. Because yeah, it seems like Litecoin wants to go a little bit lower. So I'm actually 50, moving it like 50 on fib. Here is my take profit. Another one. I already took profit. I shorted here, took 66% previous swing low here, and now I'm waiting to come all the way down here. Okay, so there you have it. All the best to you. Like, share, and subscribe. Good night.